Lies and deceit. If not for the coming of IPOB, of Radio Biafra, all of you would have lived and died in the ignorance that Ojukwu caused a war. That's what they were writing. Britain helped them to write it. Ojukwu was a rebel, a secessionist, because we had no media. That is why they're paying Facebook billions upon billions of US dollars to stop this truth from coming out. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Gowon is alive, go and ask him. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Ojukwu went and negotiated restructuring with you in Aburi. You came back, Britain told you not to agree because Britain realized that all the component units of Britain knows that if you go back to regionalism, you will have economic growth. The country will do very well. But Britain doesn't want it. That was why they even instigated the Nzogwu coup, so-called Nzogwu coup, saying they will bring Awolowo to become the head of state. They knew what was going to happen. They wanted to truncate the economic miracle of Dr. Michael Opara. What I'm telling you are fast. Go and investigate for yourself. In the East, you had the fastest growing economy in the whole world, over 40% every year. In the West, Awolowo was performing his own miracle as well. Even in the North, Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa were doing very well. You had all those massive industries in the North. You even had Alamajiris that were employed in the North, meaningfully employed, gainfully employed. They were all doing very well. Britain said, no, for us to control these people, we need to impoverish them. Let us introduce this war. There was a coup by Nzogwu. And after that, there was the massacre of, as usual, massacre of our people in the North. Ojukwu said, I have to secure my land and my people. They said, no, let's go to Aburi to discuss it. Ojukwu went to Aburi and agreed, restructuring. That's something now you're asking for. To tell you how foolish Nigerians are. They're very foolish. That same nonsense you're asking for now was discussed many years ago. Ojukwu sat down in Aburi with Gowon and decided that regionalism was the best way forward, restructuring, going back to who you were, 1963 Constitution, 1960-1963 Constitution. Be on your own and pay tax to the central government, as they have in America, as they have even in Britain. Britain, you have Scotland that is almost independent, Wales, the same thing, everybody is free, but Britain doesn't want the same thing they're enjoying to happen in Nigeria. Why? Ask yourself that question. Anybody telling you about one Nigeria is your enemy. I'll prove it to you now. Ojukwu negotiated devolution, regionalism. The North will be on their own, the West on their own, even Midwest on their own, and then the East on their own. It's the same one Nigeria. On their way to the airport, before they boarded the aircraft, a call came from Lagos, from the British High Commissioner in Lagos to Gowon, telling Gowon not to agree, after having signed the agreement. That same Gowon you're looking at today, God kept me alive so that he can witness the destruction he will bring upon that very zoo called Nigeria. Gowon said no. Do you know all the journalists in Nigeria, none of them have ever gone to Gowon to ask him, why did he say no to Aburi? Aburi was restructuring. None of those agitating for restructuring right now has ever gone to Gowon or gone to Nigeria to say, but Ojukwu negotiated restructuring. What happened? They came back and they said no. Ojukwu said, okay, so you want to continue to kill my people all over the place? No. Because of that, I'll declare Biafra. Today, they have brainwashed all of you with the perverse notion and thinking that somehow Ojukwu is responsible for causing a war. During that very genocidal war, they killed over 5 million Biafrans. They wanted to wipe us away from the face of this very earth. But we survived it, and we are here today. Those they gave birth to, they have come. And this time with a wrath that you cannot even begin to imagine. And Biafra must come. It must come.
Land of the rising sun, we from consecrated nation. Oh, Fatherland, peace be our solemn place. Defending thee shall be our dedication. Spilling our blood, we will count our privilege. The waving standard which emboldened thee free shall always be our flag of liberty.
I thought of Biafra freedom taking longer, and cause of that you tend to feel so low. I know our freedom is your greatest hunger. I thought of Biafra keeps your heart aglow. We will walk the line, this that we've known with time, gotta take it away. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your fight's just a step away. Just hold on. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your fight's just a step away. Our history has never known no laughter. It's always been this red and black, no green. A nation of this blessed yet hungry people. We shine a brighter light, the world will see. We will touch the skies and set up a throne on high and reign with our God. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your fight's just a step away. Just hold on. Hold on.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and good night to some of you, depending on where you are watching from. You are welcome to this program. While you are joining, share this video, invite others to join. We are live across the media platforms such as Twitter at Judge Money C. We are live at Judge Money blog on Facebook. We are live at Judge Money Official. We are also live at Judge Money blog Africa on YouTube rather. So this evening we are going to actually talk about the image you saw right in front of your screen while you join. On the other hand, it is Uwazurike and his declaration and his motivation and his call to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, whenever these people come out, you should know it is either they are pursuing something or something is pursuing them. But this time around, I can categorically assure you that I believe Uwazurike is not pursuing anything, but maybe something is pursuing him. And I want you to understand that there is many things that Uwazurike said, which are the things that are very, very important, that we bring it back and remind you. Because Uwazurike sent a message to all of you who believe you are affiliated to Biafra or with Biafra struggle. And Uwazurike also actually said that some of you who believe that you are fighting for Biafra. So all these things, we are going to unpack them and actually bring it down to the layman perspective or layman's understanding. Because it is very, very important. Uwazurike is, he was one of us before he deterred or he derailed. But at the end of the day, I believe that what is pushing this struggle, it is called something that we cannot see. It is an energy that we cannot see. Probably the gene of those fallen heroes prior 1967 to 1970. Probably it is their gene pushing the struggle, and we continue where they stopped, and we will go exceed where they stop, and we will restore Biafra, and they will all rest in freedom. It is very, very important for you to know that the Spirit can push you to say anything. The Spirit can push you to do anything. The Spirit can motivate you that when you finish saying that thing, by the time you know it is already out there, you will be wondering, how did I say this? Am I really the person who said this? That is how the Spirit push you. And at the end of the day, if you think about it in a freedom fighting perspective, you will understand that whatever you just said, they are all valid. The energy was just there to motivate you to say it without fear or favor to anyone. That is how the Spirit, as you may know, or the gene that is in us, that is pushing us to continue to fight for this struggle. And now we are going to be talking about Uwazurike's speech. We are also going to talk about the release of Ohamadike and the message Buhari, what Buhari said about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And secondly, of course, then I will contextualize it rather with what this Uwanyanwu said. From there, we are now going to also discuss the release of 594 Boko Haram, which Nigeria portrayed to you that this Boko Haram, they are repented, they have gone through a rehabilitation process. That is the reason why they will be reintegrated into the military formation or into Nigeria communities. I want you to know that in all these things that is happening, you should understand that that is the reason why a wise person said, the commander, Julius Malema said, and I quote him verbatim. He said that the reason why America, which time where there is a terrorism or any sign of terrorism, when the USA get involved, it will never go away. Rather, it will continue to get worse until it becomes a generational curse. I might not quote him verbatim there in my submission, but that is exactly the way it is. So, in this regard, you will begin to ask yourself, terrorism in Nigeria keep on expanding. Terrorism in Nigeria keep on gaining momentum. Terrorism in Nigeria keep on becoming a norm to the societies or to the media, to everywhere. Terrorism in Nigeria is not worthy of reporting anymore because it is not posing a risk to the politicians and maybe the people who groom them. That is the reason why terrorism in Nigeria is not, taking up your headlines every day. Because the terrorism in Nigeria is what, if you as international community will begin to imagine, even though all these ambassadors, all these envoy, all these representatives, all these NGOs that are in Nigeria, that are all over the place in Nigeria, they are able to know these numbers of people that are dying in the hands of this monstrous syndicate called terrorists. But they will never actually bring it to the table. Even if they bring it to the table, they will weigh the option to see, is this really, beneficial to the British, agenda? Or they will weigh the option and ask themselves, is this really beneficial to USA agenda? And at the end of the day, they will come to the terms that if we curb this boogeyman of these people, this OG, it means that they will all start now focusing on how to have a good nation building. Rather, instead of them trying to curb it, they will fuel it. When they fuel it, you will be busy dying, reducing your population, because their own population is dwindling. Are you now understanding it? Facebook kicks you out. Bring yourself back up, because these are the type of conversation Facebook does not want us to have. If they kick you out, make sure you bring yourself back up, because that is their slogan. We might not have a lot of audience, but if you share the video, we will try. So, it is very, very necessary for you to understand what is going on. That is what we are going to talk about today. Now, let me read this news. Let me read this news to you before we go to Uwazurike's speech. They said, according to Punch newspaper, but Punch newspaper is trying to be politically correct in this regard. That is the reason why they said the number 590 repented Boko Haram terrorists and end course apologize for killings. Now, do you know the meaning of they graduated basically, and they apologize to you, and that's everything should be okay? Do you have to pretend like everything will be all right? Because those that has fallen in their hands, their family and their loved ones, to hell with them. We just apologize. We did it. Now, they will be reintegrated into the military formation. That is the reason why any military formation that will want to come up to tackle the menace of terrorist attacks in the north, you know what they will do to them? They will transfer them, or they will basically, you know what they will do? Either they set him up there, if they know that they will still use this person in future, they will send him somewhere else. They will send him to another mission to make sure he does not lead that attack on Boko Haram, on ISWAP, on Fulani terrorists, because it is a bad market for them. So now the ones that are now reintegrated, you believe that they will go into the bush and start killing people they have covenant with. People that make brainwash them, their God. You will think they will rebel against them. That is something you don't understand in Islamic law and the Islamic belief system. Islamic belief system is a do or die extremist, especially the type of Islamic belief system in Nigeria. It is that, it is like that of Iran. No, Iran is actually more developed and even fair to her people, more than what is happening in Nigeria under the guise of Islam. So, if you look at it, you will understand that these people, they are the tool, that they are the sacrificial lamb. They have devoted their lives to sacrifice, to die for what they believe in, for their cause. That is the reason why, even if you kill millions of them, it does not stop them until you make sure consistency is a way to eradicate terrorists in every nation. And every nation that is full of terrorism, it means that the leadership or the president or whoever that is in the presidency, they are the ones benefiting from the terrorist activities. That is the way it is. That is the way it is. If you understand science, if you understand works of intelligence, you will know that there is no way an anti-terrorist president will be on a position of presidency. Terrorists will be ravaging the country. It is not possible. That is a sovereign nation. A sovereign nation that if they give, command right now, Boko Haram will be eradicated in Nigeria. The highest thing it is going to take them that you might regret later. The highest thing. If that country is as poor as Zimbabwe or Malawi, as poor as Malawi, I will tell you, they might end up going out there to source for help from the neighboring countries. Not to search for help from the Western countries. No, that will be the biggest mistake, because the leverage there, you will never finish paying them. You will never finish, you can't make it to end that leverage. Now, it is now very, very necessary for us to understand that these people have taken an oath to die, to fight the infidels. The people who does not believe in what they believe in. Regardless of how good you think you are with them, they are not good with you. That is the reason why, if you remember during the time, the northern people started killing our people in the north. Even some of our people who started revenging, killing the northern people in the east. You find some Igbo people going to hide some northern people in their house. Then they ended up killing their own, the person who harbored them, who made them friends, who gave them a place of safety. They killing them, killing their children, run away. That is religious extremism. Or will I say it is belief system that is very, very extreme. That is, they are very fanatical about that belief system. If I may use the right terminology. Because if these people whom you call, Boko Haram, they were there. They were doing it small time. Their younger brother, ISWAP, or their senior brother, whichever one, joined them. Before they came in, Fulani terrorists paved the way for them already. That is how it is. They are now united. Whenever you hear about a new set of terrorists in any country, if there is a particular terrorist in a country, you hear there is another new name or new brand that just come up into that country, you should simply know that there is another new raw material that is that is actually found in the area where these people are going to settle. That is the way it is. Because they will explore these raw materials. After exploration of these raw materials, they will sell it in a black market. And black market, of course, it will never give you what you deserve. And it will only exploit you, knowing that you are under pressure. You are committing a crime here. So that is the way it is. So this is exactly the reason why you will never ever curb the menace of terrorist activities in Nigeria, because people are benefiting from it. People are benefiting from it. That is the reason why I played the voice or the video of Donald Trump, what he said about the excessiveness of the United States to the world, to the rest of the world, especially the third world country called Africa, Nigeria, which is the leader of the Africa giants, the third world country. Nigeria has been called a giant of Africa, but they kept Africa in the third world in the last 60 years, or in the last 100 years, rather. But they are giants. They are supposed to be the leader. They are supposed to be the biggest economy. They are supposed to be the United States of Africa. But because their plan was not to create the United States of Africa, their plan was to create disastrous state of Africa. Their plan was to create time bomb ticking type of Africa. That has been their plan. And the time bomb is very, very, it is now so ripe that it can blow up at any given time. And that is because you have a terrorist mindset in the presidency. And those terrorist mindsets, they practice bureaucracy. Like these are bureaucrats. Within that formation of presidency, if there is nobody who is giving information to terrorists, if there is nobody who is funding terrorism, if there is nobody who is actually jeopardizing and sabotaging the security of that nation for their own selfish and Western agenda aggrandizement, you will actually understand that there will be no terrorism in any country. And these things are being funded through NGOs. So many people might all the time, you won't understand, this NGO is here, they are doing this, they are seeing to this victims of terrorism. These NGOs are here, they are seeing to the victims of these attacks, without you knowing that these people you are seeing as philanthropists, NGOs that they are the funding machine. And they don't fund the terrorists directly. That is something that is very, very smart of them. They will never fund the terrorists directly. They will always have a, onyama. They will have third party, first, second party, accomplices, linkage, TJ Hooker. So they will have this cycle, which is called a syndicate. In this syndicate, nobody knows who is calling the shot last. And at the end of the day, that is the reason why so many atrocities that the West is committing in Africa, it will never ever circle back to them, because we don't have intelligence. That is number one. We don't have intelligence in Africa. It will never circle back to them. And when eventually somebody rise to be intelligent, the next thing they will do, they will use people around you to take you out. Because it is a syndicate. They are like region. They are like legion. Is it region? They are like legion. They are everywhere. They are everywhere. So that is the reason why they will always win if you allow them to still be in your life. I am not saying sever ties with them, if you are, because this is now a general topic for Africa and the African continent. It is trying to make sure you know how to make a policy without being prejudiced by the West, without anything. You know how to make your policy, stand by it, and make sure that they themselves respect your sovereignty as a nation. That is it. As long as the policy you are making, it is a policy that is constitutional in your country. You know what is constitutional? You must make a constitutional policies that is in line with your constitution. Those are the policies that you will make. Then, if they believe, if Facebook kick you out, bring yourself back up. They keep on doing that. Once people come in, they limit it because they told me my page deserve to be uprooted and not to work. And I am broadcasting from that same page. So, it is a problem that when these people interfere in your policies, whichever policy you want to make, they interfere with it, which is a policy of not killing innocent people, or policy of killing people, or like death sentence, which is a policy of death sentence. They can actually talk about it, but not really dictate for you on how to go about this death sentence. Now, what am I trying to say? Like the way Uganda is trying to make their policy on LGBTQ queer community. It is their policy. If the Ugandans saw it as something bad for them, Ugandans will come out and protest. Population, or there must be a referendum. If it is something that is very, that is so, sensitive, then they will go through a referendum. Do we want this in this place or do we not want it? Then then the majority takes it that we want LGBTQ queer community to be legalized in this place, so that it will nullify all these people who are in the West interfering with the people in Africa. It will nullify their opinion. Now they are now interfering in such thing, trying to fight this same thing, that this country decided that they don't want LGBTQ. At least, even if you don't like what they are trying to do, you respect their constitution, which gave them a sovereign nation, or which made them to be a sovereign nation. If there is any place where their constitution stated that you will actually, approve this community to be, to be legalized, if you approve their, their legality, it means it is constitutional. If it is not written in your constitution, it is not going to make sense if anybody want to challenge it, because most of these constitutions were derived and recopied from most of the colonialist ways. It was not there. Why was it not there when they were there? Except those countries that just celebrated their independence, before 30 years ago. Those might find such things in their constitution. But what about those before that time? Why is it not found in their constitution? Now, coming back to it. If they are now pushing back that this particular, policy is not going to stand in your country as a leader of your country, commander-in-chief of your country, and you obey them, tomorrow they will bring military, or they will make sure they sabotage the country, that they have to bring their military surveillance in there. And they will keep on saying they are checking up on you because we don't trust you. Or it will be like that. Or all these secret, agents. That is the way it is. But if you make your policy, you stand by it. If the pushback is too much, conduct a referendum. Because that is a policy you have seen as a person, individual, that will favor your country, that is constitutional, because that constitution is something that you people gathered and agree with, right? For that moment until it is amended, you are actually compelled to obey that constitution. If you are not obeying the constitution, you are a world criminal. That is the reason why you will be tried in ICC, International Criminal Court. If they are not, complicit today, if they are not, they are not selective in the terms of what they are going to look into. If they are not selective, you will understand that many Western leaders supposed to be in prison. Likewise, hundreds of African leaders supposed to be in prison. But because they pick and choose, they know that whoever that is committing this international crime or a crime against Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which they are supposed to be signatory to all of them. If those crimes does not, as long as it violates them, they're supposed to start advocating. But they will only advocate when it comes to something that will not be beneficial to people. That will not be beneficial. When I talk about beneficial, I talk about when you think about this LGBTQ queer community, it is not beneficial to any country. I am not being homophobic, but I'm being realistic. It is not beneficial to any country. Because what makes a nation great is the multiplication in their number. Additions to their number. That is what makes a nation great. Now, if you want us to, talk further on that, the reason why Donald Trump said that they need to increase fertility rate in America, it is because he understands, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman or business tycoon, as a politician who wants something to help his nation, he knows that fertility rate of America is dwindling. And they actually need this number in order to, place themselves in a particular scale in the world. But because their number is reducing, especially the number of the white Americans, that is the reason why they are making sure they promote LGBTQ queer community. Even in everywhere in Africa, they promote it more so that it controls the fertility rates of African nations. Because a woman plus a woman cannot give birth. A man plus a man cannot give birth. This issue, it is not a natural cause. I have never seen a dog doing it to another dog, or a goat doing it to another goat, no matter how it is. It is not a natural something. I know it is not a problem, but if you start noticing the numbers of children, male children, that has been raped, sorry for using that word, Facebook, that has been raped by their, people who belong to the LGBTQ community in your societies. Number of children, they will be raped, especially they will be the family member. They will be a family member. They will do this crime. Because they are family member, they will not be reported. And when that child is growing up, that child automatically becomes bio. If he is supposed to be, he becomes bio. When a woman breaks his heart, he goes straight. He becomes homosexual. This is things I have seen, stories I have heard, and watch it play out. And most of all these things, when you think about them, if I start talking about them, they will believe I am being homophobic. In my own culture and belief system, I am supposed to be homophobic. If I may put it in that manner, I am supposed to be. And I am not a fan of queer community. I am not a fan. Can never be. God created me to have children and multiply. He never created me to go and start looking for, something that doesn't make sense. To him, as God, these things are, man-made. And it's always starting where you expose your children. If one of them or some of them will walk up to you and tell you the truth, how they become these things, you will understand it started from their childhood, whom they were exposed to. And they will now bring them into that. From childhood. It is always like that. By the time they grow up, they don't even know what is, relationship, which they don't know what is opposite sex and negative sex. They don't know anymore. Because this is something they were introduced to. And not once, not twice. They were scared to speak. Some of them. It might be the uncle. It might be the favorite cousin. They will be scared to speak. I don't want to put this my uncle in trouble. I don't want to put this my favorite cousin in trouble. This is how it is always in the European communities. I can categorically tell you, in European communities, it has now started being in the, in blacks communities right now. It has expanded. It continues to actually, infect others. Then you will think it's a joke. Before you know it, people will start doing what they are not supposed to do. Tomorrow they will start fighting for right to legalize it. And at the end of the day, if you don't give them that right, the West will come and tell you, no, you must. No, you must. That is the way it is. Because they know it is a systematic way of reducing or keeping your population or fertility rate in check. 1 minus 1 is something. Believe you me. You might not know it. But those who are, systematic about you and your well-being knows about it 100%. So that is the reason why they will promote such thing instead of promoting, promoting the oppression, anti-oppression in Africa. Anti-human rights violation in Africa. Just like Nigeria. Because it all circles back to Nigeria. If they start promoting anti-human rights, violation of human rights, anti-terrorism, anti-this, anti-that, and they will be very, very objective about it, and they will be determined, they will determine to make sure that they achieve it. You will find all these problems that you are facing, it will vanish to the thin air. Have you now seen how Arabian world is actually uniting? Arabian world is uniting. You know why? They are uniting to remove this shackle of bondage that has cleaved onto their neck in the last years, using some of them against themselves in the name of terrorism, in the name they are fighting each other. So they are uniting right now. Upon their unification, China is now a peaceful nation. The nation they told us that they are the most violent, they did this, they did that. I know that they are very, very, political about what they are doing. But people actually, get more enticed with what they see. China is now peacekeeper. He went to Russia. He said that it must end with dialogue. Let there be peace. They are on the side of the peace. China went to Arab nation. He started uniting your Iran, uniting Amman, Syria, United Arab Emirates. All of them. Very soon you will hear Turkey. They are now united. Boom. Now you will understand that book of Isaiah getting closer. The book of Isaiah, which, I think is Isaiah 13. It will now come closer to manifestation. Unification of the ancient Medes. Unification of the ancient Medes. If I can open that book of Isaiah. Now, the Medes, let me see which Isaiah. The number of the Isaiah, the chapter, so that you will understand. One moment. Now let me try to open it up. Just one moment. I want to connect something and I want to show you something so that you will also understand the history. Because history will always repeat itself. It's up to you to notice when the change occurs. But so many of us are so blind that they will not notice it. But let me show you. This one is not actually a history, it is a prophecy. The book of Isaiah. Isaiah 13. Is it Isaiah 13? Yes, the book of Isaiah 13. If you have a Bible, you actually open it up to Isaiah 13. Use King James. And the reason why we are not here to learn Bible, but we are here to connect a history. And we are here to connect a prophecy. The way it is not the one somebody will tell you I see. But now, look at it. Isaiah 15. Let me start from verse 13. I want you to pick up something. Pay very good attention. Therefore I will shake heaven, and the earth shall remove out of her place. In the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his people. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Are you paying attention? Flee every man into his own land. Now verse 15 it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust, which is shall be thrust. They will slay you. That's what it means. Through, they will be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives shall ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. We shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity. On the fruit of the womb, their eye shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency of the Chaldees' excellencies, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. This is a future prophecy. And this era of this prophecy is where we are at right now. And so many people are still looking for another prophet to come and tell them, this is the way it is. Every of this thing happening, it is already written unto us. That is the reason why I actually say that our ancestors, they didn't do us good, because they never withhold this and teach us the way and the manner that we should understand and live our lives, that we will not live a life in infamy. That is the reason why I blame them. Now, in this regard, it is talking about the Medes. I want us to go through a dictionary. Let us find out what is Medes, because that is how you read Bible. Let us go to a dictionary. Let us find out what is Medes. Definition of Medes. Let us find it out. Well, how do you spell Medes? It's M-E-D-E-S. M-E-D-E-S. Let us find out who they are. Okay, if you talk about Mede, which is, or Mede, M-E-D-E, whichever one you call it, how you pronounce it. It talks about a member of an Indo-European people who inhabited ancient Media, establishing extensive empire during the 7th century BC. Now, let us go to Medes. Okay, you can say, what is the modern day Medes? Modern day Medes. M-E-D-E-S. Now, it says, if we don't find what we are looking for in English dictionary, we are going to seek for it through etymology. Now, let us bring it to your context. The Medes were an ancient Iranian people and one of the ancestors of modern Kurdish. People who lived in the northwestern portion of present-day Iran. This is what Bible said. It is not what I said, though. This is what Bible said. Now, have you now seen how the prophecy is working? Have you now seen how we are getting closer and closer and closer to the prophecy? Now, if Nigeria is declared Islamic State, both your children, both the fetus in your womb, they will be dashed. They will be killed. If, while they declare Islamic State, now all the Islamic states, they are now uniting across the world. Have you asked yourself, what is the reason why Nigeria strengthened their relationship with Iran? You don't know. I will tell you. Because Islamic State want to unify. Islamic State, they want to unify. Because they are basically tired of being used against one another. And that is the reason why Islamic State must be declared in Nigeria, so that it will be ruled under Islamic law, which is a law that is, according to them, it is not a bad thing. It is a good thing that takes you to heaven and sometimes give you 500 virgins. That is their law. And I'm not being prejudiced about their law. But the most important question is, do you believe in their law? Is their law the type of law you and your ancestors practiced. Why should it be opposed on you? Why must it be imposed on you? Then, if they impose it on you, in the next 3.5 decades, it becomes a norm to your children. Now, those of you who are telling us, I'm a hardcore Christian, Christianity must dominate everywhere, you will no longer have that time to teach your children how to be a hardcore Christian. Those daddy GOs, the only thing it will do to them, they will fly themselves abroad to go and be daddy GOing. A place where they still there is not the Islamic nation. Because everything that you do as a Christian, they see you as an infidel. Do you know why? Because they see the way that you are so-called Christian. They know the origin of Christianity. They know how it comes. They know where it originated from. And it comes from their own enemy too. That is the reason why they will also, but they are not telling you also about the origin of their religion. They are not telling you. And they will not also tell you where it emanated from. And what and the funny things that it does. Because all this religion, they have their own, problem. Because it is through that their religion that somebody will be convinced. Give him gun and bullet. Tell him go out there. Kill people, butcher people. Just don't have mercy on these people. They are infidel. If you go to heaven, sometimes you have 500 virgins. If you kill it and die during the process. Then Christianity pastors will be there using Bible to exploit you. Give tithe and offering. I once told you that if you don't give tithe and offering, you are enemy to God. Without telling you that tithe and offering is what you eat before God. And you will, if you are eating it before God, it is like a feast in the house of God. The day of tithing and offering, you come there, you invite people who does not have, you eat with them. Deuteronomy 14 starts from 20, good higher to the end. Then you will understand the tithe and offering. So that is the reason why sometimes when I'm talking against these pastors, and according to the Bible, who said that they dealed falsely, all of them. He never say, he said from the least to the greatest, they dealed falsely. Because they are no longer following the ways of the Lord. They are no longer following the commandment of God. They tell you that Jesus Christ with a blue, with a como guy, with red hat, that he came and died and took away the law. It is like a person who call himself a citizen of a nation, and they don't use constitution of that nation. A constitutionless country. That is a pastor that tells you that Jesus Christ have taken away the law. Ask that pastor. Go and commit fornication with somebody's wife. If the husband will not catch you and cut off your throat, why is it a law? Why is it against the law? Go and steal people's stuff. If they will not catch you and burn you alive, why is it against the law? When Jesus Christ with Ako Mugai have made away with that law. Because it is the same law that so many countries actually selected or implemented their constitution, whilst making it and shaping it the way it will suit their selfish aggrandizement. That is how constitution on earth began. It is biblical. Now, somebody will tell you this constitution, no, they uzi. Jesus, it is about grace. And they will go and read Paul's letter to you. They will go and read the book of Galatians. After reading it, where Paul say we are not judged according to the commandment, we are now judged according to the grace. According to the grace. Now you ask Paul, the Paul that wrote to you, he said precept must be upon precept, because Paul's letter has its own cut up. If you see the way people complain that you went and cut my video, Paul's letter comes like this, short. He writes his letter that you need to pick them up together, bring it together in order to understand Paul's letter. In that book where it says, in the Galatians, where it says that it is no longer about the law. You are judged according to the grace. What is the law? The law is that man that the guy with Akomo guy with blue eyes is impersonating. When he came and died for for our nation, you know what he did? He became the law. So that we no longer need to go and buy animals and kill blood in the name of appeasing the God. So that he represented that sacrifice of where people are now making a lot of money from. Every priest, and that is the same thing they are doing. Every priest will now come during that time of Jesus Christ, who will say that if you do anything, they will say, go and buy cow, go and buy goat, go and buy pigeon, go and buy this. Then they will be selling it and will do everywhere. If I call it it will look like it is in Fendalose. If I forget whatever they will use to appease the Chukwuokike, the God Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth, because what they're supposed to use to appease the gods, they will use it to appease themselves. That is the reason why Christ took it upon himself, because he knows that he takes a blood to replace a blood. He chose to be. He is a human being. Just like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have taken upon himself, he want to suffer for the sake of Biafra. Christ took it upon himself. Let me be this sacrificial lamb, because the poor people are living in sin, in the name that they are going to appease for their sins. That is my culture and your culture that is watching. And they are no longer able to afford to buy this cow, goat, ram. And these people they are giving it to is not using it to appease the gods. They are using it to make money. Aroba afo obulo menana. Anadromma ulundinze. That's where that adage was derived. Anadromma ulundinze. And the same thing now, as the world keeps evolving, the strategy of these same people keep changing. So now you see, they are no longer taking cow and goat. They are taking tithe and offering. Because, Christ, the real Christ, which is the Lion of tribe of Judah. I told you from the Hebrew to Jeremiah, you saw he is a tribe of Judah. That's why he is called the Lion of tribe of Judah. He is the one who died and he became the law. And he says, no one cometh to my Father except through me, the law. That is exactly the context of Christ, the role of Christ. And if you want to contextualize it to the freedom, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu became the sacrificial lamb, so that you will know how important it is to get freedom. That's exactly the way it is. Now, so many of you who does not understand this context, you will think that Judge Money is exaggerating. Or you will think that Judge Money is just speaking. He is a theist. He don't believe in God. He don't believe in this thing because I say I don't believe in Christianity. The reason why I say I don't believe in Christianity is that there are, they pick and choose what benefits them. And they start selling the agenda. That is the replica of what the West is doing with Africa. They pick and choose policies that favors them, and they will initiate it in Africa and promote it. Use mainstream media. Make sure it happens. So it is from the lower echelon to the higher echelon, which is the West is the higher echelon. Pastors is the your politicians is the middle echelon. Your pastors is the lower echelon. That is how these neo-colonialists graded or actually set up their agenda and their structure, and it is playing like a program. This one does its damage. This one will think that this one is going to repair the damage this one is doing, without you knowing that this one you are embracing is destroying you more than the one you are running from. When the president cause a chaos in the country, bring terrorists to kill you, cause hunger and starvation, hike inflation rate because they are not innovative, they don't know how to diversify issues, they are just there for looting. You will find out the country is full of crime, full of poverty, full of everything. Now, the Christianity now comes in. Pastors, they will come in. When these pastors come in, they will pray that it will be well with you on loan, but not to be well with the country. It will never be well with the country, no matter the amount of prayer they will pray. It will never be well with the country because they are working with the situation of the country. If that situation is not in that country, you will not be under pressure to be God and tithing and offering after they must have brainwashed you that if you don't tithe, you will be in tight corner. So if not such situations, they will start kicking you out. Bring yourself back up. So if not such situations, you will not be going to these people to exploit you. Believe you me. I believe you me. I stand in the covenant of Chukwokikabiama to tell you this. I did not say give me money for the sake of telling you the truth. But the truth is what I am telling you, and you will not like it because you did not grow up hearing it this way. That is the reason why it will be so difficult for you to digest it, or for you to say, let me acknowledge it. You will be thinking about it, you will be seeing it, then the next second thought will come. No. It is always like that. But when you understand science, you understand mathematics, you will know that this is psychology. They will use it to twist your mind. They will beat you this side. You will think that this person is going to pet you, not knowing that this person is exploiting you in the name of petting you, consolidating with your problem, exploiting you. And at the end of the day, your mind, it becomes a norm to your mind. This one is consolidating. People are giving testimony, but you never give. You have never given. Every day people are giving. You have never given. Why aren't you giving? Because you are not paid money to come and give testimony. Until you are paid money to come and give testimony, you are linked by somebody, or the setup give you a prophecy, follow the back, fulfill it for you, that you may come and give testimony. That's what they do. They will give you a prophecy. Use somebody that knows you to fulfill it. Then you will think that this person, that is my testimony. Then does it continue? No. After some days or months, it vanishes from the thin air. There will be no longer miracle. You go back to tight corner. And they will tell you because you didn't pay enough tithe. You didn't pay enough tithes. Now you have to now say, let me appease God. You go even borrow money to give tithe in the church. They will be using toothpick. Now they will be flying private jets. Because your mind is positioned in such a way that this church is going to be your healer. Healer that heals you from every, no matter what that situation is. This church is my healer. That's why it says they deal falsely. That is the reason why they cannot teach you the Bible. They cannot tell you the prophecies, because it is their duty to know all these prophecies written in the Bible, when it is going to come. They will follow the algorithm, tell you when it is going to come, tell you this is how it is going to happen, give you the signs, then you will understand, and tell you what to do in order to escape it or to avert it. But they will not do it, because they are not in line anymore. They will not make money doing it. So that is the reason why. And that is Christianity for you. That is the reason why Bible told you that God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah for the sake of particular topic, of particular people. And those are the things that you are being forced today to acquire, or to basically, accept. They will force you to accept it, because they are bringing Sodom to the whole world now. Because God, challenged the Satan that he destroyed Sodom. Now Satan wants to make the whole world, including the world of God, to be like Sodom, believing that God will look at all of it. And he said to himself already, I will not destroy the world. His word is his bond. And because he cannot destroy the world, the devil wants to make the whole world to be a Sodom. And when it becomes a Sodom, believing that it will not, but at the end of the day, God will select those who are his, send them to a place of safety. The same way he is calling those our people in Lagos State. The same way he is calling our people in Lagos State. And calling them to go back to their land. They are actually ignoring it, believing that Nigeria has always been like this. They will do maga nkanwaga once Tinubu is sworn in, nkanwaga. That is what you will be telling yourself. But he said it will be like a chest roll. When that time comes, it will be like a chest roll, where everybody will be running, children will be dashed, pregnant women will be killed, children, the fetus in their stomach will be removed, it will be killed. That is the prophecy. And it is coming. Because the ancient Medes is rising up. They are realizing whom they are. They are realizing their purpose. And their purpose is to conquer the world. And in conquering of the world, they will destroy one problem. And when they finish destroying this problem, and they will conquer you. And it is not as if they are not going to destroy one problem. The problem that is keeping you down, it is ordained that they will be destroyed. The Babylon. The Babylon. Because, when you hear about the word Babylon in the Bible, or in the story of the Bible, or Bible texts, you will believe that this word that you are hearing, it is about theory. Never happened really. The world of Babylon was collapsed. But that was present continuous terms. The walls of Babylon. Present continuous terms. Now, the reason why it continues, it is because the walls of Babylon was destroyed. And they now shifted, thinking that they have now seen the strategy which God used to destroy the walls of Babylon. They now want to re-strategize. They now extended it. The walls of Babylon, it is the West. It is the people, the land of West. And the head of Babylon, it is the United States. The countries that is living in the north. If you want us to show you, if you want me to show you in the Bible, maybe it is also written here. It told you about the country that is living in the north, in the northern part of hemisphere. They are the New Babylon. And those are the people that will be dashed. Those are the people that will be slain by the ancient Medes. The ancient Medes is arising. But we will see to that. As long as you get ready and make sure the ancient Medes does not come and now start ruling over you again. While they are advancing, you need to start advancing those who say they are going to die for Christianity. The time has come. The time has come. If you believe that Christianity leads you to freedom, die for it. If you believe it does not lead you to freedom, don't die for it. But think well before you engage. Make sure you make a right decision. Because nobody, you are going to blame no one. If eventually when you finish, you find out that the Christian you are following is not the right one. Because God cannot use your oppressor to create a platform that you use to praise him and worship him and pray him. He cannot give it to you through your oppressors. It can only come through your people, through your ancestral origin. Chọnụ Jehova mgbe ga-achọta ya, kpọkuo ya mgbe ọ nọ nso. Because oh God, there is no more time. That I can assure you, there is no more time. People believe that it is about what they are going to achieve because they don't even try to peep back home. Some of you outside Nigeria, you don't even try to peep back home. Do you know it came to a time where people were buying land in Lagos? It was in 2020. Oh no. Was it in 2020 before COVID? 2019. Before COVID. Land agents came. Land agents, we sat with them from land agents from Lagos. We sat with them. They just traveled to go to abroad to market the lands in Lagos. They were, they visited me and some of my, friends, and they introduced land to us. I saw people buying land of 100 million, buying land of 200 million, buying land of 300 million. Not one land though, because it starts with cheap. It starts cheap. There is 2.5 million naira, 1.5 million naira. Then you see somebody buying hectares in Lagos. You know what I said to myself? The agent was quite convincing. He was quite convincing. And they will give you actually a payment terms. It is not something you will pay immediately. You can, if you buy a land of 10 million, you can actually pay maybe 5 million. Commit. If you make it, now your problem. If you don't make them to finish, now your problem. So, before my eyes, somebody bought a land of more than 200 million naira. Now, and I was also advised to go for it. I thought about it. I remember the prophecy. I said, no. I say, I'd rather go back home and do whatever I want to do there. And I am the one laughing today. Because when you are thinking about your mansion in Lagos, you know, I will be thinking of upgrading my crib in my land. Because your mansion will be giving you a heart attack in Lagos. Your land of 200 million will be giving you a heart attack. My crib of 100,000 naira in Biafra land will be giving me peace. That is the way it is. If it wasn't for this prophecy, from the Bible, I was going to also engage. This time around, I will be under pressure. What will I do? Looking for who to sell it. If you get any Yahoo boy, will be Yoruba, where sabi waiting they happen. If he give you half price, if you buy 200, if he give you maybe even 50 million, that is the plan. Land grabs. So, at the end of the day, you will now put one or two together to understand exactly where we are going. There is an agenda to declare Islamic State. And that is the reason why Boko Haram, ISWAP, all of them will be very, serious with what they are doing. Because the West will, might believe that these people are promoting their own agenda this time around, not knowing that they have united and they will start promoting their own agenda. Because the world is about survival. They have realized that they need to survive. Because whoever that recruits them is one of them that speak good English, that will be able to communicate, or that speak the Western language, that will be able to communicate. So that is one of them. And now, at the end of using them, they will be deployed another place to go and fight terrorism. If they're done using them in particular country, they will be deployed another place as a military to go and fight terrorism. So this is something that is there. You do because you don't know how to engage it. So, in this regard, if you have ears, hear it. If you don't have ears, stay in your ignorant. Now, let us go now to tell you the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being passed, is now going to be Buhari's inheritance. The reason why they want to make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Buhari's inheritance, it is only but one reason. Just like you have seen them causing animosity because they came to us, some Yorubas who claim they were fighting for freedom. They came to us in the name that they are fighting for freedom. And so many of us embrace them. Some of them. There are still people whom they convinced that are actually believing in self-determination for real. Now some of them believe they are fighting for freedom. Now all of a sudden, you didn't know that Britain is preparing them. And now, when they were being prepared, let me show you what happened that we didn't pick up. Let me show you something that happened that we refused to pick up. While they were preparing these people. Pay attention to this video I'm going to show you.
Northern Consensus Movement.
Let me pause it so that I'll be hearing it. I'll be hearing it late. So, but let me try and play it.
Again,
It doesn't matter. I will hear it.
reiterated their stand to stand against any Southern president come 2023 as the governors in the South oppose open grazing, which is livelihood of Fulanis in the North. Addressing pressmen in Abuja today, the president of the group, Comrade Awal, said Nigerians are not happy with what Southern governors are doing. He said the Northerners will not accept to vote anyone that is not from the North in 2023 with the arrangement of opposing open grazing.
Deliberately refuse to adhere to the provision that the president is trying to make just because they have an innermost plan. They have a plan, they have a thinking, they have a motive that they are trying to execute. That is the reason why they decided to refuse to comply with that. And in any case, this is a political situation. We are in a political government, and under a political dispensation, the voice of the people is the voice of government. Government has no authority on its own. Whoever become a governor, a president, a senator, a member House of Reps, a member State House of Assembly, or a local government chairman is doing that on the neck of Nigerians. Now,
Sorry for that. Sorry for that. I didn't. Thank you very much, Omote Barrister Omote Biafra TV. Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you very much. Now, these people, they knew what they were planning. They tell you it is not going to the north, to the south. The reason why they told you it is not going to the south, it is only because these people, they know that if we take this mandate and just give it to P2B, it means the relationship between Yoruba and Biafrans, it will be more intact. But instead of us doing it, let us create this conundrum in a situation whereby the Yoruba people will think we are doing them a favor by rigging an election on their behalf, without knowing that they have put up their plan in place. The back man, the second president, which is the vice, is the strong man. The man put in front is a Yoruba man who wants power at all cost. And anything can serve. Now, they gave it to him, knowing that if Tinubu die, if Tinubu fall ill today and die today, believe you me, they will never report it. They will swear him in. If they have to report it, they have to report it after 3 or 6 months. But they will make sure they swear him in for the sake of the vice, because the vice is the reason why these people started, paving ways by telling you we are not taking it to the south. They come to a resolution. We have to put a Muslim ticket. We have to make sure that we give it to this Yoruba man. And of course, we will take a lot of money out from him. He must not have enough, because we will make sure we drain him. They now took money from him, made him the president-elect. Now, they push up an agenda and say that Igbo man said Lagos is a no man's land. Or Igbo woman said Lagos is a no man's land. To now activate the real reason why they placed Tinubu there. Now, Tinubu now activated it quickly by releasing some hoodlums, because he knows that everybody rallied about obedient or whatever they call themselves. That now obedient people who are seen to be Igbo, including Hausa people who are obedient, they are all seen to be Igbo today. Any comment they make, any sentiment they make, it is Igbo man that makes it, as long as they say they will be obedient. Now so it be, as it stands now. Now that is the reason why Tinubu released some hoodlums. And with Femi Fani-Kayode motivating such rubbish. And is it Remium or Omori or Olomo? Kaalomo. Now fueling it, because he knows the youth. He knows these rascals. Now it boils down that they become a group of syndicate. Now they are very, very organized. They are organized criminals. For the sake of what this man said here, that was when they started planning their move. And their move, they say it is not going to the south. And he ended up saying that they have the numbers. And they tell you that the northern people are more than 175 million. That's what he gave to himself. That the north is more than 175 million. But let me make sure. Let me play it further. Let's pay attention.
Nigerians are not happy with what these governors are doing, even within the state that they reside. The people that they think are the members or the citizens or indigents of those states that they think they are truly not happy with this, because we have received several complaints, even from the Yorubas themselves, that their governors are doing what they are doing. And again, like I said, we are under a political dispensation. And these same people are saying that they needed power in 2023. I wonder how we, the Northerners, will accept to vote anybody that is not a Northerner in 2023 with this kind of arrangement that is going on, that openly, even though, even as at this time that you are not in government, you are already indicating that you cannot unite the country. You are already doing, you are already segregating against Nigerians.
That even
you are
the
already
Yorubas
depriving some Nigerians from their means
even
of
the
livelihood.
Yorubas did the
Now
same
that you have not been given the opportunity to lead Nigeria,
politics
you are already
is
doing
still
this.
coming.
Then
It's a
what
game
more
of number.
if we decide to accept
And they
that
have
we will
the
support
highest
any
number.
candidate
They are
from the south, southern part of
170
Nigeria?
million.
It means the north will be
And
gone.
the rest of,
I think
70
this is
something
also
is
a
the
better
Igbo
and stronger
and
basis
Yoruba
within which
and every other
we will continue to clamor and
the
call
north
on
is
our
like that.
people to know that
Now,
they
since
cannot
they have
and should
that
not
number.
and should
So
never,
how
and we
did
will
they
not
use that their
allow
number and give
through
it
the
to Yoruba?
ballot
When
box
the Yoruba
anybody
man committed the
that
same
will
crime,
not unite
Igbo
this
man,
country to be the next
and the Biafrans
president of Nigeria in 2023,
by
because
stopping
automatically
or
you have indicated
bringing
that
a
you cannot
policy
hold this
anti-open
country
grazing
together.
law.
If you are given the opportunity to lead,
Bringing a
you are
law
only going to divide, because what you are
anti-open
doing
grazing.
now is a
was
method
the
of
sins
division.
of Yoruba
It's an
and,
indirect dividing the country, because where you deprive
Biafrans,
me of my
if
means
it
of
is a sin
livelihood, and
against
what
Nigeria
else do you expect
Constitution
me to do?
or against
What
northern
else?
people?
And we are talking of crime
Now,
and
why do
criminality.
you
And we are
think
trying
that
to
they
see to
select
it
the
that
old
crime
man?
and criminality is reduced to the barest minimum. The government at the center is doing.
So why do you think that they selected the old man that cannot say, will not be able to do anything, but the old man that have a permanent hospital bed in France, a permanent hospital bed in UK, is what they selected, knowing that even if they end him, he's been sickly, he's never been strong. That will be the slogan. So at the end of the day, these guys didn't see the sin of Yorubas as a sin, because they want to use Yorubas and quench the fire that is burning, which are the Biafrans. Because this fire, if we allow this fire to burn, it will burn the whole Nigeria. Everyone will start believing in self-determination. So let's use Yoruba against these people, the people that they have actually, motivated to fight for their rights. Let's use them against each other. They made the comment, and the war starts. But Ndibo, I'm looking at you. You are keeping quiet. People just come to the media and talk. Instead of saying that we have made provisions, telling our people straight, start going back home. Start going back home. The sign is for you to go back home. It is a good sign. And if you refuse to go back home, I don't know what will be in the next, 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. You don't know. Because the ticking time bomb is going to explode eventually for Islamization to come. Now, I want you to continue listening to what this guy said here. Remember, both of West and the East committed the same crime. But the West is going to be favored, against the East. So that the East, those in Lagos will start calling you, please, our property in Lagos, we own half of Lagos. Joy Bokwe, who say he will never go back home again. Joy Bokwe will be telling you, if you go back home, in that small place, where would you be? In that small place, where would you be? That is what Joy Bokwe will be telling you. Because Joy Bokwe is a blind man that want to recruit other blinds to his side. And, those are politicians. Where is Joe Ibokwe today? His property, his property will be among that will be demolished, that will be destroyed, that will be taken away by these Yoruba rascals. Now, at the end of the day, you will now see the manifestation of this initial plan happening. Listen to it. I want us to get to where he talked about the number of the northern Nigeria.
Everything humanly possible to ensure that crime and criminality across the federation is being reduced to the barest minimum. But by this act, you are indirectly instigating violence. You are indirectly instigating chaos. You are indirectly, expressing that you are not willing to continue to, to harbor other Nigerians from the other part of the country that are resident in you. And I've said it before, I'm going to repeat it again. In Kano and Kaduna alone, you have more than 19 million, in the entire northern Nigeria, you have more than 19 million Yorubas resident in the 19 northern states. Kano and Kaduna alone.
You are not willing to harbor other Nigerians. That is what the North said, because you would stop the terrorists from using cattle grazing, cattle and open grazing to actually, commit their terrorist activities. You stopped it. That is the reason why they say you cannot harbor other, ethnicities in your land, because you stopped terrorism. Now they have to return the favor, and they have to use both of you who passed that law to actually revenge for themselves. That is what they are trying to do. They're using both of you, Yoruba and the Biafrans, to revenge for themselves. That is politics. And that is it is actually more like neoconservatives, the mindset of neoconservatives. It is exactly what these people are doing. And the Yoruba people, whom I believe they are they have a lot of educated people. They are well educated. And they allow a guy man. They allow a man that is basically, what will I say? Is not going to benefit them anything. He is a man that will not even be there for a long time. They allow him to use him to destroy your world that he is not going to be part of. That is what these people use Tinubu to do. Then once his work is done, they will wave at him, give him a flower. Then the vice president will come in. That is the plan. Listen to the number of these people before we go to Uwazurike.
And not only resident, these guys owns personal property, land, farmland, houses, and shops and what have you. And we live with these people peacefully. We try as much as we can to protect them, to protect their lives, to protect their properties. Why is it that the properties and the lives of our own people that are resident in your own state is not being protected, is not being guided? That is not to say that we don't know what we are doing. We are not fools. We also have feelings the way you have feelings. We think the way you think. We can act the way you act. But we have been trying as much as we can to restrain our people from taking the laws into their hands. And by what you are doing, you are instigating violence. So we are saying that the southern governors should go back and have a rethink of this their policy. We don't have problem with their policy for as long as they are going to provide an alternative for our people that are resident there, most especially with this grazing issue. If they are going to provide alternative for the Fulanis, build grazing reserves for them, and then let them go into the grazing reserve and be paying you on meritorium, or even if it is rent on a monthly basis. But you are passing a law that says you do not want to see a single cow moving on the street. You do not want to see a single cow moving on the street, and you do not provide an alternative for them. For God's sake, how will they feed those animals? How? How will they be able to feed these animals? And you keep on arresting these animals and also charging fees. Arresting, charging, and collecting fees from the Fulani nomads that are innocently trying to find a way of putting ends together. We are saying no to this, and we're also meant to understand a lot of these charges that were being given, there's even no receipt for the charges. You only charge them, and at the end of the day, they leave. You leave, arrest their cows, and then charge them exorbitantly before releasing the cows. And the next 3 days, you come back and rearrest again. This is not the best way of revenue generation. If you want to generate revenue, you should build ranches. After building the ranches, then you can enact your law, then push the Fulanis into the ranch. Those that refuse to obey those laws, we now know that they deliberately refuse to obey the laws, and we are law-abiding citizens. Northerners are law-abiding. We are Nigerians. We believe in Nigeria. We respect the laws of Nigeria. We will never break the law. We will never support breaking the law of the Federation, but you should also not instigate.
Let me interject where he said you build ranches. Don't forget, let me interject. You build ranches, but Biafrans promoted animal husbandry, including Andy Okonkwo, what is his name? Andy. When he was an APC. When he was APC, he proposed animal husbandry. Is that not ranching? Is that not part of ranching? But the president in place, or the cabals in Aso Rock, does not want it, because they know if they start doing it, you will be able to monitor the amount of people, so that there will be no more influx of Fulanis who does not have destination into your land. They nullified that idea. They nullified it. Today they are coming to tell you, they now later tell you why you didn't build open grazing, animal, what do you call it? Animal husbandry, which is ranching. Why did you not introduce ranching? So to make you to look like you are the aggressor. That is what these people want to make you. They made you the aggressor. Even they know that they are people. They don't just kill people with a gun. Shum, shum, you are dead. But they will slice you. They will butcher you to the extent that you don't want to look at them. Now they make it your problem, because they cannot control, because they cannot come into your land and control it and take over your land in the name of open grazing in the 21st century. Open grazing in the fourth industrial revolution. Open grazing. Dude, it doesn't make sense. Down they want to now pay you back. You say it is triggering violent. The violent now, they have used their own politics to cause it amongst you. Instead of you uniting against this common enemy called the Fulani, you are now fighting yourselves. Not fighting yourself, they are now using Yoruba people to kill, to harm, to destroy your livelihood. Remember that they believe that it is their cow, that when you arrest their cow, then they have to destroy your market, your businesses. That is the reason why. Because the cow is more important than the people that they are killing in your land. The cow is important, that you will be in Lagos doing your business, peacefully. You will hear a news that Fulani just butchered your mother, or Fulani just raped your mother where she went to farm, or Fulani just cut your sister into pieces. How will that news sound in your ears? It won't sound good, right? So think about it. and come to a resolution that these people are playing a game of mind, a game of chase that is meant for the masters. And you don't want to be the master. You want to be the slave. So, let's continue.
Breaking the law, because what you are doing, you are instigating violence indirectly. With this, I will rest my case. Gentlemen of the press, if you have any question, I'm here to answer. That is the stand of... What is the stand of the group? That's not just the group. We speak for Northern Nigeria. This is... The stand of Northern Nigeria... The stand of Northern Nigeria in 2023 is that the North still have a balance of 4 years and will continue. We will make sure that we balance of our 4 years before moving power. We were even beginning to think that we can consider our brothers, because politics is all about number. We have the numbers. We have the numbers, we have the voting strength. And you cannot become a president when you don't have the majority of vote. We have the majority of vote. We were willing to give that majority of vote to other parts of Nigerians that we feel will harmonize, unite, and move the country forward. But we understand by this act now, it is clear to us that it is good that we are standing on our position. It is good that we are still insisting that the North will continue until after 2023, until after 4 years. Then we can now come into round table and begin to negotiate. By the act of the governors of the southwestern state, it is clear that they cannot, if any of them or anybody from that part becomes a president, he cannot unite this country. He will not unite this country. He will not work towards the general and national interests of Nigeria. And we, the Northerners, are known to be fair in judgment. We are fair in thinking, and we are fair in leadership. And that was why today, if you go, you find out that most of the infrastructural development that has taken place under the present Northern leadership is done in the southwestern part of Nigeria and the southeastern part, with a very little of it taking place in the northern part of Nigeria. Even with that, the southerners and the easterners are still complaining of marginalization and what have you. Then if you give, this act has indicated that if given the opportunity, then we are going to be slaves in our own country. For this, we are insisting that the North will continue to hold on to power. We have the vote. Whoever that needed to be a president should go and contest under a political party, and then let his credibility sell him, and let the votes count. Let the vote decide who becomes the next Nigeria's president.
What the hell? I get it. I get it, comrade. I get it. I get it. I am muted. Oh, sorry about that. I hope is what the reason why you are calling, right?
George Money.
Yes.
You mean for the voice?
Yes.
Voice?
Yes. Okay, I will call you. Let me call you back. Let me call you back. So, they want to. I hope you heard what they said here. Sorry for that voice that was not there. You heard what they said here. That they are not going to take. They are not going to take anybody from anywhere. That the North must complete the 4 years. That politics is a game of number and they have the number strength. So they have to choose this old man that is already closer to his grave. And if it doesn't happen quickly as they want, if they kill him, it is justified. Because everyone have seen a video that Femi Fani-Kayode has shared in the past years, in the past 3 years, about the old man. So everybody already know that this old man is ill. So now the 4 years, it is not averted. The northern 4 years that they say they must take before they will think about the other, it is not averted. It's just that so many people don't understand the politics. Now that 4 years is what they have put Shetima to cover up, because of course Tinubu will not last there for up to 2 years. He will not last there for up to 2 years. If he has to, anything has to happen to him today, they will not report it until they swear him in. And after some times, they will tell you he has fallen ill. He died. That is their plan. It will look like a boring story or a boring information that I am giving you, because we keep telling you that the man in Asorok is not whom you voted in 2015. Because nobody moved a motion to find out. Nobody tried to push to have a DNA done. That is because you will be seeing your problem. You cannot see a solution to it. You can never apply it. And we are saying it. We keep on saying it. None of you try to actually find out what these people are. What are they saying? Is it really correct? Is IPOB dishing out disinformation and misinformation? Is it really what these people? Let us find out. Let us conduct a DNA on this man to find out if this organization is actually representing what they say. But they will not investigate you. They will not try to find out the facts about your cry. Your cry, they will not. Even if they find it out, it is not going to actually favor the agenda of those who are in charge. So they have to conceal it. So have you now seen the reason why they have to make you be where you are? So that they will continue to buy you over. They have placed Tinubu there. Not only that they place him there, they make sure that they bankrupt him, almost bankrupt him. He spent a lot. He spent a lot for the sake of this election. They returned that money that he has actually acquired, the wealth. They took half of it in the name they are going to give him presidency. But the end game is the A game, which is a game that, people will be surprised. Because the 4 years must happen. 4 years must happen. That was the promise of these people. Take out Tinubu, put Tinubu there, use him and divide Yoruba and Igbo. Then take him out. Of course, Yoruba don't have strength to agitate. They don't have strength to agitate. Omo Igbo, once Yoruba and Igbo start fighting, of course, Igbos will lose focus, or their agitation for Biafra will start, they will start losing, focus, and they will believe that it is all about the whole world against them. While Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is kept in the solitary confinement, not to, influence anybody with his, rare wisdom. So, while they are doing it, they are now planning for their 4 years. Their 4 years is going to happen. At whose peril? At all of your peril. Because we told you, do not start championing Obi. Obi is not going anywhere. Do not start championing Obi. Use that time, utilize that time, and do something productive that is going to help me and you. Then you continue to champion Obi because you believe that IPOB is just one crazy organization that do weird things. That is your belief. We do weird things where people are going. That is according to you. You believe that IPOB na akuna bandiazu. But you don't know this IPOB is organization. We have gone across the West, the Western world. We have seen development. We have seen structure. We have seen constitution being upheld. We have seen judiciary working. We have seen human rights being upheld. We have seen, the right of everybody, being maintained. We have seen the grants, funds, how government can establish other people, through funding them, funding their initiatives. We have seen all these things. We have seen the best of the best. And we have seen how they are obtained. We now wanted to bring it home. That is the reason why it looks like those that is outside Nigeria are the ones who are pushing more than anything else for our people to get their independence and get their freedom, because they know that the way we have learned from other nations that are the first world countries, the way we have learned from them, we can implement this. And if we implement it, we are going to have the best nation in Africa. So that is exactly what these neo-colonialists don't want. That is exactly the reason why they are using some of the people you are fighting to liberate. They use them to kill your morale, to kill your spirit, to make sure that you lose focus. Sometimes they use them to bribe you to start preaching from both sides of your mouth. But this time around, the way they came psychologically. They came in a way that a lame man will never understand the move. Agent Provocateur was there. It didn't work. Because they have strategized their plan beforehand. Proactive they were. Believing that IPOB is only reactive. Because they use some criminals in order to manipulate us when they kidnap Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They now believe, or they will portray it, that IPOB is only reactive. They are not proactive. They made their plan to be proactive, so that by the time IPOB will know what is going on, they have established their plan. That is the reason why they remove Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because they know and they trust that this man is proactive. You see them before they see him. Without knowing that this man, you see, has actually empowered many, has actually given birth to many. That is what they did not know. Now let's put this man inside. We will be playing game of time. And while we do this manipulation, by the time he comes out, everything is a mess. They put him inside. They released the Agent Provocateur, which is at Berima in Finland. From there, they manipulated some of the members of Mazi family They use some of his brothers, his sibling. And at the end of the day, to make sure that we are distracted. But little did they know, if I don't hear it, Methuselah will hear it. If Methuselah does not hear it, Nwachineke will hear it. If Nwachineke does not hear it, Idudu will hear it. If Idudu does not hear it, Ikenga will hear it. If Ikenga does not hear it, Omote Biafra will hear it. If Ostraman does not hear it, Maze, Isaiah Oba will hear it. If they don't hear it, Mazi Chinasanworu is also there. Watchdog, community watchdog. He will hear it. So, if he does not hear it, you will find our upcoming comrades that are, new to the media. They will hear it. Then the bigger ones will take it and enjoy sharing it. At the end of the day, have you now seen how we are able to be proactive? Because we are legion. We are legion. And we don't actually forgive or forget. As long as you are a bona fide, committed NIPOB, you will never, ever, give in. And that is how we are able to tell you, P2B will not do anything for you. P2B will not favor you. P2B is a means of manipulation. P2B is a means of time wasting. P2B is a way. Have you seen now what P2B resulted? Igbo Yoruba, Igbo business being destroyed because of P2B. Because of who? P2B. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS dungeon because of who? P2B. It's prolonged the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because you use your platform to promote P2B. That is why. And we kept on telling you, P2B is not going to help you. He is not going to. He was brought in. I said it several occasions in my platform here, that he was brought in to make you to lose focus, to make you to divert the attention and the time. Have you seen what Devil Omahi said? Devil Omahi confirmed that Wike stole the vote of River State and gave it to their Tinubu, to their APC. That it is God. He said it is God who did it. Because what God will say it will be, will be. The same thing that you claim that God will say it will be, because as a Christian you are, you will quote it. You don't make mistake in quoting those things you quote. What God will say will be, will be. Then your people, businesses are being ruined. You didn't say anything. All you say is you congratulate the people who are fueling it, who are the mastermind of your people's business being ruined in Lagos State. Now, come to think about it. Are these the same people you want to, look at them and call them your representatives? These are the people that need to be chased away from your life. You need to evict them from your side. You need to make sure that their shadow does not pass you, because these are evil men. Gangs of reprobates. That is what they are. You now see in APC is now in good term with PDP candidates. Praising him. You gave us River State. Wike, that is, when Wike finish drink alcohol, and Chichenko Nechinimi, his brain will be turning upside down. They have used him once more. What Wike have done to Igbo race can never be erased. It will never ever be erased. no matter how much he repented, these are the people who will be in the list of those we are going to ostracize. That we are going to ostracize from the society. You know why? Because these people are evil. They are selfish. Likewise, Dave Umai, Hope Uzodimma. These are people who are gangsters from their youth age. They use their gangsterism to pave way into politics. What do you think? And they're not just gangsters, dangerous gangsters. They pave their way into politics. What do you think that is going to be the end game or the display? That is what you are seeing right now, because they are using the willing tools amongst you to prolong your freedom. What are you going to do as a person who have discovered that it is your freedom that will make you to be like Japan in Africa, or better than Japan? Not just a Japan. You will be better than Japan and greater than United States of America. Only if you have freedom. And that is what this neo-colonialist does not want. Because during the time when we were actually fighting the war, you saw and you noticed that gun and bullet was not supplied to us. Russia supplied Nigeria military weapons to fight Biafra. Egypt were the ones who drive the bomber, the chopper. And there are Britain, they are the mastermind, giving the formation of how to, offensive and the defensive. That is Britain. And is making sure they use their proxies to supply weapons to Nigeria, different dangerous weapons to Nigeria, which we don't know what killed 5 million women and children. We don't know whether it's a weapon or maybe sort of biological weapon that changed their DNA, that's supposed to change their DNA. At the end of the day, it changed their life. They died. And they call it Kwashoko because they had to close the food supply to make sure that they release whatever that killed our people. And that was a tactical nuclear weapon. That was what Britain used against our people. If you look at the way it is right now, hunger cannot kill our people in that regard. Hunger. No. It is a kind of tactical nuclear weapon they use on Biafrans to eradicate Biafrans. But God said, no, you cannot eradicate these people. We are standing alone, building the ammunitions that we use to fight. The time French government want to supply Ojukwu some weapon, that was the reason why you start hearing people teaching you French in high school. Because French was a kind of our allies. Even though they have their own agenda, Britain made sure they use BBC to sabotage French to stop. You see Russia today, Britain manipulated them to fight Biafrans. And that is the reason why I believe there is a role Russia has to play in restoration of Biafra. Because it is time for their restitution and retribution. It is time. So these people fought against Biafrans. Yet they couldn't clean us. We were building our weapon, fighting and pushing offensive while pushing defensive. But the biggest mistake we made, we allowed the war to come into our land. The war was fought in our land. That is the reason why this time around, wherever it begins, start it there. We will send you recruitment. Wherever it is going to begin, actually push back from there. Because if you allow it to come home, the weak ones will not have any place to run to. That's the way it is. For the sake of the weak, for the sake of women and children, You push back there, then we will now infest the whole zoo with the pushback. Then we will now know what exactly is their strength. Because it is because we retreated. Bring your valuables back home. Bring your valuable back home. And we now stretch and wait. Any slighted move, you push back. Don't wait for a minute, because they will expand. That is the only language this Fulani is going to hear. The only language. If you don't push back, they will push you off your track. They will conquer you. Now, don't forget, 4 years before they give it up. Have you now seen the reason why Tinubu will not be there? He wouldn't be the one to be there. And if anything happened to him today, they will not report it. They will make sure they swear him in. Now, the poster in Asorok, the group of cabals in Asorok, is now pushing it that they are going to actually make Tinubu inherit the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Can you imagine the rubbish? Oh, Nigeria. And all of you who used your platform to protect Obi, promote Obi, when I told you Obi is the worst thing that will happen to you, I am not saying it because I hate his ideology. I was not saying it because I hate his plan. I was not saying it because I hate him. I love him. He is a Biafran. Directly, he has never, done anything to me. But indirectly, he has done something to all Biafrans. But at the end of the day, we need to make decisions that will favor you we are talking about long-term plan. We are not talking about, temporal plan. That's the reason why we told you. Obi will not favor you, and they will not get him in there. They wanted to use agent provocateur to make it seem as if these people who are actually talking reality, who are actually exposing the plan, to make sure that they will be say, we are the reason for not letting Obi in. And I called you also, I told you, do not anybody who will come and tell you there will be no election in Biafra land, that person is a criminal. And that is as a result of what happened. If you find agent provocateur now, start, tweeting against anybody, you should know that their plan failed. Because it is always a failed plan. He didn't deliver. He never delivered anything. So the plans will not hold. It will no longer stand. Because he has to deliver according to the plan. But he couldn't. He couldn't make it. And that's why they are so scared about IPOB, because IPOB is resolute, formidable. IPOB is something that you don't know their beginning or their end, because IPOB is God-chosen organization to give freedom to his own people. That is IPOB. And that is the reason why we defeat every forces. We push back every energy that they will send against us. We will always emerge victoriously, because our cause is ordained. And this cause that we are fighting to achieve, it is a cause for freedom and emancipation of Umuchukwu Okike Abiama, which God knows about. And we will not ever stop until we'll achieve it. Let's go to Uwazurike. Now you have seen what how the North planned it and their mandate or their obligation. You have seen, and how they will execute it, I have told you. But you undermine Judge Money because you don't come here and see 3,000 or 10,000 watching. When I speak it, undermine it. But tomorrow you will start hearing it. Bloggers will start using my terminology. That is one thing about it. So, it is very, very important that you know that Northern people said they want more 4 years. And that 4 years, they will get it by fire, by force. They created a double-edged sword. Now, they want to now transfer Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to Buhari. That is the reason why, because Uwazurike, no matter how compromised and how he has actually messed up, he was once, he was the one who actually, he contributed in giving us Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. You can never take it away from him. He contributed. God used him to announce Mazen Nnamdi Kanu somehow. By forming an organization or being a chairperson of an organization that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was a member of, which was Masob. And immediately the time for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to take the mantle, this man got compromised. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu pick up the mantle because he was prepared for him to locate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, not for him to lead, not for him to actually bring it up, but for him to locate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Just like according to the context of the Bible, John the Baptist paved way for Yeshua, our brother. He paved way for Yeshua, which is the one you name Jesus Christ, the one they have impersonated and bring a white guy with blue eyes. So, he announced him, he paved way for him, and he comes. John the Baptist, did you hear about him anymore? No, you didn't hear about John the Baptist anymore. Now, Uwazurike now paved way for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And he did not know when he was doing that, because he was under the influence of this call. And that was where his call, is. He got compromised. So, if he did not get compromised, you will not have two captains sailing on one boat. And now, because the captain, the main man, is in charge, Uwazurike, don't be surprised that he still see the algorithm. He still follow the algorithm. Don't be surprised. Let me tell you why. The reason for what Uwazurike said here. The reason why Uwazurike said what he said here, it is none other reason than Uwazurike have seen the ticking time bomb. Uwazurike can foresee that it is no longer a time for, all this go and catch him. Nnamdi Kanu said, and Uwazurike said, and these people said, it is now the time where everyone that is found among them will be dashed. So he starts now to, do what he's supposed to be doing. Backing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu up. Because that That is supposed to be his own, part, backing him up, regardless of what he will see and say he did. While you are backing him up, if he say anything to you, you should know that you must have done something. So you need to retract your step. The fact that you refined him or you found him does not mean that you own his destiny, or does not mean that you own him. You found him because God ordained you to find him. God did not ordain you to find him for you to be better than him or for you to be superior more than him, regardless of whether he's he's younger than you. It is about the mantle, the call. That is the reason why Uwazurike found him, but he never know the real reason why he found him. And he is supposed to back him up. He is supposed to support him like elder brother and a younger brother, who is more formidable more than the elder brother, who has what it takes more than the elder brother. Pave way for him, give him your support. It is still, you were supposed to be respected in Biafra land today. Not every day being cursed by people because of your greed or your envy. And at the end of the day, this what Uwazurike said here is exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Listen to him.
By all means. Yeah. Please, I'm just making this video for this purpose. Buhari, please, I take God beg you. Make sure you release Nnamdi Kanu before you leave office. Make sure you release Nnamdi Kanu before you leave office. You have no reason. You have no reason whatsoever to leave him behind while you leave office. If you can obey the Supreme Court over the Naira, whatever, you have to obey the Court of Appeal over the demand and the instruction to release Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu should not wait for Tinubu. Tinubu has no business with Nnamdi Kanu. On the issue of Lagos, what people are going through in Lagos, I just laugh. I saw one MC Olomo or whatever they call him showing power. I just laugh. We have tested this thing before. This guy, what they do when it starts, no one go beg for peace. It's only federal government that can challenge us in Nigeria when it comes to tobacco. No other tribe. So this thing you are doing in Lagos, humiliating people, pursuing them, wounding them, fighting them, because we have never reacted. When you push us to the wall, now you go beg for peace. This Olowo and the MC Olowo and his clique or friends who are doing all this. Now from corner where they hide, you will be preaching for peace. Now you go run away. I know who Igbos are. When we bounce back, now you go run away. Now you go cry. That your Lagos, your leg will not talk down. I know how we are pacifying our people. Cool down, cool down. We are not cowards. We are warriors. These are the two things I said I should say this afternoon. Nigeria, you are pushing Igbo to the war. We don't want to fight any war again. But if you continue to push us to the war, no problem. Thank you. You want to humiliate us. You want us to fight by all means. Please, I'm just making this video for this purpose. Buhari, please, I take God beg you. Make sure you release Nnamdi Kanu before you leave office. Make sure you release Nnamdi Kanu before you leave office. You have no reason. You have no reason whatsoever to leave him behind.
Now, I want you to know, make sure you release Nnamdi Kanu, because Buhari want to pass Nnamdi Kanu over to Tinubu so that they will be using him as a leverage between this animosity between Igbo and Yoruba. That is the plan, and we cannot allow that. We cannot allow that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to be a leverage. Use your platform. Use your platform. Call on these lovers of freedom. Let them make sure that they get ready. It's either they go out there, demand for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu release, for peace to reign in Nigeria, or they get ready to fight a war. It is not a threat. That is what the algorithm foretells. That is what it foretells, you know. I want you to know what this man is saying here. It is a very, very valid point that he's making. For the first time, you will hear me validate the comments of this man. For the first time. You know why? Because this time around, he said it and he mean it. He is not saying it because of, you know, something he is chasing something, or something is chasing after him. But he said it because he mean it. Why does he mean it? Because he knows if this problem starts in Biafra land, we are not going to tolerate saboteurs. We will not tolerate saboteurs. Saboteurs are the first people to be cut down, to be taken away, to be ostracized. Saboteurs. That is one thing. So that, because you cannot nyaluli na banakoka. You know, he cannot nyaluli na banakoka. He could see, he could feel that vibe of what is going to happen. That is the reason why he is seeking for his own restitution, or may I say retribution as well. That is the reason why. Whatever he says here, he mean it. And he went ahead and sent a message. I want you to actually hear that message that he sent. Let me play the second tape, because this video was actually cut piece by piece, I believe, to fit in other social medias. So listen to this.
Buhari is the person that was releasing Nnamdi.
One moment. This is the second part of this video. Once we're done with it, we contextualize it with what Iwanyan said. Now listen to it.
And before he leaves office, I don't know what is really happening. You want to elongate Nnamdi Kanu's stay in detention by begging Tinubu, who had not been sworn in. That is why at times I look at people I love. Many of our problems are caused by our people. Instead of asking to make sure you release Nnamdi Kanu before you go, we are shifting it to Tinubu. I want to let some people know. The worst set of people that we want Nnamdi Kanu to be released, the last set of people that we want Nnamdi Kanu to be released, are the Igbo politicians. Moreover, the so-called governors. Not all of them, but those you think are your friends that love you are their
Now, the worst people who want Nnamdi Kanu to come out are the Igbo politicians. Now you will now contextualize what he said with the latest media statement made by Devil Omahi. Contextualize it with that media statement. Now tell yourself exactly the truth of what is going on. You will come to a conclusion that these people, they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. Igbo politicians were the ones who wrote to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Let me bring more people into this program. Igbo politicians wrote to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu does not. Oh, unfortunately, I can't. I am not using. Oh no, I'm not using the right admin. So to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu does not come out, because they know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, when he comes out, nobody listens to them, but they listen to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They know they cannot achieve their selfish gain if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is out. That's why they wrote that letter. Many of you must have forgotten about the letter. Now, is it not time for you obedient, including Peter Obi, to demand for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? He will not do it because he still have hope. Maybe there are people who are prophesying to him, have hope, you will make it, do it. By the time it will manifest, you have wasted your time and energy waiting for court. By the time you realize it, your time is wasted. The man is not in the power. Everything is gone. And you will be regretting, had I known. Judge Money said it. It is time for you to react. Because there is some message that Uwazurike said here. There are some message Uwazurike sent here. Not everybody is able to actually understand that message. But I will explain it to you when it gets to that point. Because Buhari cannot use Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and pass him to another generation of leadership. Another leader. While the issue is between Buhari and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He didn't sentence him. He didn't release him because he didn't obey court order. The epitome of a failed state, where the judiciary, they select what decision of judiciary that will be implemented. Failed state. Nigeria is a failed state. And the West, who does not actually care, because it benefits them more when you are in trouble. So, that's why Uwazurike is telling you now. Some of you are there, but you cannot do anything. Some of you are there. Instead of using your energy to call for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, if it is to go and occupy every government house in each state, make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released. Make sure you descend the street, occupy the roads, no movement. Let Mazen Nnamdi Kanu be released. It is your right. Because if he is not released peacefully, maybe you want him to be released violently. And I don't think anyone is actually want it. Because everyone is peaceful. Because if you want to bring it to that, his release violently, it is what Buhari is trying to hand over to Tinubu. It is what Buhari is trying to pass on to Yoruba nation. And For you to avert that, you need to demand for the release of Uwazurike. And wherever you are as a Biafran, if they stir up their wrath or stir up their sword to kill you, kill them back. It is self-defense. If they kill you, kill them back. Because nobody holds the monopoly of violence. They say you are one Nigeria. Kill them back. Self-defense. It is not actually, pushing you to do something that is not proper. We live in developed country. We know how things work. And that is how it is going to be. Listen to Uwazurike. You will hear the message. I will pause it when I get the message is delivered. Listen.
Worst enemies. They are worst enemies. How can somebody ask an incoming government who has not even taken position to release somebody arrested and detained by another government? Why can't that government release him? What reason does Buhari have to detain Nnamdi Kanu when a court of competent decision has asked for the release? Then an Igbo man is coming out to say, please, Tinubu, we congratulate you. There is Nnamdi Kanu when you are sworn in. What has Tinubu got to do with Nnamdi Kanu? Then when he comes into office, another machinery will be set in place to release Nnamdi Kanu. When Buhari should ask the Attorney General to bring out Nnamdi Kanu according to the dictates of the Court of Appeal. If Buhari could respect the decision of the Supreme Court in the Naira, whatever, redesign or swap, why can't we obey the dictates of the Court of Appeal to release Nnamdi Kanu? Because he followed the rule of law. In the case of Nnamdi Kanu, he forgets to follow the rule of law. It's injustice. It's injustice. And that's what I'm thinking about. And that's what I've been talking about. But some of the people who say they are clamoring for Biafra don't even understand anything. I don't know. When Buhari is the person that must release Nnamdi Kanu before he leaves office. I don't know what is really happening.
Okay, now, have you now seen what Uwazurike is saying here? He says that some of you, or most of you, that are claiming you are fighting for Biafra, that is looking at you, you don't know what to do. Because he is telling you it is time to use this opportunity to descend the street. It is time to use this opportunity to demand for your right. It is time for you to use this opportunity to do something that will compel these people to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and they organize a referendum. You can protest for referendum. There has been a protest in France. There is a protest in Germany now. I believe there is a protest in Germany. Was it in Germany? Yes. There was a protest today or yesterday in Germany. There is a protest. There was a protest in UK. There was a protest in South Africa. There was a protest in Uganda. Sorry, in Kenya. There was a protest in many places. And it is a massive, massive, massive protest. Make sure that you protest. Make sure that you block the revenue of this place. block, make sure that there is no movement, close the country down in protest, and see if something will not happen, and see if something will not change, except if you want this to go down through a violent means. I am giving you a very important message and advice. Protest for the release of Uwazurike and give us a date for referendum. We have come to a conclusion that Nigeria does not like themselves. That Nigeria does not like themselves. We have come to that terms, and we need to make peace with it. We need to actually rethink. We need to come to a resolution that will make this Nigeria who does not like themselves to actually rethink, this their one Nigeria. It is time to think about it, and come to a table and say, it is time for a referendum. We have been promoting this thing, it never worked. But because they have the mind of a conquered people, they will never ever try to, look for a possible peaceful means. But they want to die. They want to be killed. They want to be killed. That is the only language that they want to go through. But if you want to avert this language, it is time for you to demand for the release of Uwazurike through a protest, peaceful protest. But this peaceful protest must be massive. That is the only way you can do it. It is the only way you can do it. Because these people with two-faced people. There is a video where Tony Blinken was being drilled because the news had it, or intelligence has it, that he is funding the war in Ukraine, both sides. They are funding the war in Ukraine, both sides. But it will be a topic for another day. There was something Nelson Mandela said about Nigeria. That is something that I am trying to, looking for, to see if it is here. Then I will remind you. I believe I have it. Let me open it and show you before we call it a day. Let me show you. The one of Tony Blinken, we will do it some other time. Now, listen to what Nelson Mandela had to say, rather. Before, let me bring it.
And if there is a country,
now.
And if there is a country,
wait, hold on.
That is committed and
Hold on. This is who? This is Nelson Mandela, right? Now, let us hear from him.
And if there is a country that has committed unspeakable atrocities in the world, it is the United States of America. They don't care. They don't care for human beings. 57 years ago, when Japan was retreating on all fronts, they decided to drop the atom bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Killed a lot of innocent people who are still suffering from the effects of those bombs. Those bombs were not aimed against the Japanese. They were aimed against the Soviet Union to say, look, this is the power that we have. If you dare oppose what we do, this is what is going to happen to you. Because they are so arrogant, they decided to kill innocent people in Japan. who are still suffering from that. Who are they now to pretend that they are the policemen of the world?
Yeah,
And if
they are.
country
This is what Nelson Mandela said about these people. Who are they now to start policing the world? Why do you think that people like that is going to come for your aid or going to tell you the truth? That now brings us to the claim that Tony Blinken is funding the war both sides. That is funding the war both sides. Now, this type of people, hypocrites, chameleons, they will not do anything for you. Those of you who are waiting for IPOB to continue speaking, America will hear us and they will come and turn around things, or Britain will hear us and they will turn around things. I want you to, get over it, because they will not. It is you that will actually do something for yourself. If you do something for yourself, because these people, they are using you to fight for survival, and you are dying as a result of them achieving their survival. So it is up to you to fight for your own survival by descending to the street of Nigeria. Bring economic sanction through a civil disobedient, through a protest. If you are able to achieve it, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be released. Referendum will be conducted. No one will get hurt. But some of you who are so, backward, who does not know anything, who is being ruled by ignorance, they will tell me, come back and lead the protest. But when somebody will be shouting, kill them, they will be praising that person, and that kill them becomes a problem now in Biafra land. Since you stop hearing kill them, how many people has been killed? Nobody. Since Agent Provocateur stopped screaming violent, how many of our people died? Nobody, except the one who Uwazurike just eliminated, Labour Party candidate. So all these things you are seeing, you have now seen that IPOB is whiter than white and whiter than gold, whiter than snow. Because immediately when we sent the Agent Provocateur to be under investigation, the killings and all these stupid killings stopped in Biafra land. Because we tell you things the way it is. So they have to now start it somewhere else against Biafrans. But this time around, systematically destroy their livelihood. If they retaliate, then you kill many of them. But they don't know that we will not retaliate the way they expect. We will retaliate at our own terms. But for now, to avert this thing that is going to come, let us go into civil disobedience. Protest. Serious protest. Whether you use that momentum, that energy of obedient movement that you have supported, because you have supported it and you have now seen that Obi is anyway not the savior. Obi is not the savior. The savior you have abandoned. Bring the savior out to save you. Save the savior to save yourself. That's the way it is. Do it for your own benefit. Iwanyanwu and all his political, talks and praising of those who killed 5 million women of his siblings, because he's old enough to know about the war or to witness the war, even though he might be very small during that time. So for him to be telling you those rubbish, we will deal with them. You will never see anybody being dealt with because it never affected them. They don't have physical business. What they have is your money that they're sitting upon, oil well, which if instead of going to war, we close all the oil well in Biafra land, all the oil exploration, we shut it down for the government to come to our terms, for the government to do what we want, because power belongs to the people, not to the certain individuals, because they can. And we can as well. They are fighting and chasing you out of Lagos. Make use of the resources in your land. Close it for them not to benefit anything from there again. Vice versa. Tooth for that. Without bloodshed. I am taking you I am actually navigating you through the routes that you will do without going into a full-blown war. We will save lives. But those of you who are so political about it, when this thing break out, you are a saboteur and must be treated like a saboteur. I will take my bow here. There is someone whom I promised to call. Let me try to call him. If he answers, good. Meanwhile, it will be for a very short call, because I don't like to promise and fail. I have overstayed actually my budgeted time. I have overstayed my budgeted time because the topic was extended. So I am going to call him to bring his opinion, because I know he wants to bring his opinion. So
Yeah, Judge Money.
yes, Mazi. Thank you, man.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Will you come in? Please use like 3 minutes to educate our people. I know you have something to say.
Yeah, okay, I will.
All right, go for it.
Should I go ahead?
Yes, go for it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. The clip that you played, that is just deceived. They always come every time with deceived. Just that our people don't know how to play this politics. That is the problem. Our people are using emotional something to play this politics, and which is not helping our people. Which there is no hope in those things that they are fighting. You will fight for something that you have hope on it. There is no hope on it. I was watching Iwanya how many days ago. He's trying to make I don't know what to like call that one, to exonerate Obasanjo that killed our people, destroyed our people. Obasanjo that banned Oboroko, banned everything from our people. He's calling Obasanjo that Obasanjo is somebody that is so liberal, that he helped many people. I don't know. The 3R, I keep on talking about this 3R. People don't know why I keep on talking about this 3R. This 3R they implement, no victor, no vanquish. They have never even done even one. They have never done even one. Instead, from that 20 pounds that we collected, they are still destroying that 20 pounds up to today. So it's something of irony for him to come and exonerate Obasanjo. That is what Obasanjo did, that when they surrender the flag to Obasanjo, that Obasanjo will be the first person. Obasanjo is the Western stooge that they put there. There is no Igbo man that is the Western stooge. The Igbo politicians are stooge to the Fulani. They don't allow them to go to the Western, and which is very bad. But it's just in home. Look at how the red cap are disgracing themselves. But it's Johnson that is angry. angry, that cannot even see road in the sun, that our people are disgracing themselves to just sit with Boris Johnson. An only expired prime minister that would take him to come to our place, to come and talk to our people, which is very bad. Our people should wake up. Iwanyanwu are telling you people that he has called meeting, that our people should not mind anything. They should keep on doing their business in Lagos. Iwanyanwu, since I was born, know who Iwanyanwu is. We know Iwanyanwu with that we have called for urgent meeting. Till now, Iwanyanwu urgent meeting for almost how many years till today? We have never seen anything that came out from Iwanyanwu urgent meeting. Our people should do the needful and come back home. Come back home, because it happened to the Israelites. They left and go back home. And since they get the state of Israel, they say never again you will kill any Israelis in any part of this world and go free. We don't get your own house, excavating in anywhere, you have no strength, you have no power. Remember, there is no strength in diversity. Thank you, George Money. I use my 3 minutes. God bless you. Yeah, thank you, George Money.